course, as Johanna mentioned, we warmly welcome you to join our Digital HR Insider community, and you will be updated about new, for example, this kind of events or any insightful content for your HR digitalization journey. And few practicalities about this presentation. Of course, we welcome all your questions via chat, which will be operated by our administrators for this session. Of course, session will be recorded, so it will be available for you after a few days. And of course, the presentation is already available for you in the PDF format, so you can as well during the presentation put your own notes. Okay, and as always, for each Workday releases, Safe Harbor statement apply. Okay, as usual, for Workday recruiting, we have a lot of different features, which can be easily split to 3 different groups of users. So candidates, recruiting team, and hiring team. And I would like to first go through the items related to the candidate's experience. So the first feature is the new search user interface on external career sites. And as you probably remember, this functionality has been delivered for the first time in Workday 2021R1 release. And then in Workday 2022R1, Workday gave you an option to turn it off if you didn't want to use it. But with Workday 2022R2, this will be automatically available for us customers without any option to opt out. So you will not have any longer this button in the edit tenant setup to turn it off. It doesn't require, as I mentioned, any additional configuration from your side, as I mentioned, it will be automatically available in all customer tenants without option to opt out. This new experience as well includes the ability to configure an external career sidebar and the job posting specific sidebar. And it was something what was already now announced during the previous release, but here for you, I added as well the community post how to do that if you so far that didn't use it. Okay, and then jump to our tenant and see it very quickly how it's look like, because it's something was probably majority of you already know. So this is the new view for our page and our external career site. And what is new here are those filters, especially, and the split of the columns. So as you can see, we have a lot of different filters here, which can we specify in the Find Jobs report. And as well, we have a really easy access for our candidates. They can easily open the job requisition and see any details which we have about that, and they have easy access to the apply button. But in the same time, they didn't lose the option to change the job requisition which they want to see and take a look that they are interested in them on or not. And as well, of course, once we will go back to our search for job, we will see as well the configuration for this new sidebar and About Us section. And of course, it's something what can be updated to your personal company needs. You can add as well some pictures, as well as the company logo, some text, and as well for you, those of you who has the video subscription, you can as well attach here the videos. All right, so let's back to our presentation. And of course, I added here a little bit of summary for each feature, but I will not take and spend more time about them, because you can easily take back to this PDF and see what will be changes that are really shortcut, what will be changed and what will be happening if you are not doing anything with this. And the next thing, let's stick with the customer's experience and let's talk about new welcome page for our candidate home. And here we have a lot of changes, so please bear with me, and together we will go through them all. And as well, I will show you this updated candidate home page on the live external career site. So first, Workday introduced a totally redesigned candidate homepage with this release. On external career site, of course, with option to create the separate sidebar to display content related to the candidate homepage. And here you can add, for example, some tips or hints for the customers before the interview, or any other information which your recruiting team and hiring team seems to be useful for your candidates during the recruiting process. As you will see in our demo in just a moment, it's a really redesigned page. We will start with the candidate's task, where they now display task in the table view, organized logically, including that the task which candidate needs to do in one tab, and the completed task will be right now put to the separate tab. Each task is followed by some defaults and some additional information from the job requisition, such as the name of the task, the job title, job requisition ID, status, and the date when the task has been assigned to our candidate. Next part of the new homepage are job applications, where they deliver some renaming to provide more clarity here. Active tab will display a candidate's draft and submitted job applications, and inactive tab will show a candidate's application or applications with status higher or withdrew. Manage button, which you probably remember from the old view of the homepage, right now will say actions and will have a new icon and new related actions. And once candidate will decide to withdraw an application or delete an application draft, or they will redirect candidates to a new page instead of the pop-up window which was delivered previously. As well, Workday redesigned similar and suggested job sections to display job posting as cards. Those cards will give an option to quickly view some really basic posting details, such as job posting title, location when the job requisition is posted, time, or posting date. If you don't enable suggested jobs, in your tenant, external candidates will see a new similar jobs section, and it will be displayed up to 3 job posting cards. And again, Workday deliver more in this candidate homepage. So we have as well new sidebar, which can include candidates, home-specific text, images, video, etc. Whatever you think it will be useful for your candidates. Workday will as well deliver a default sidebar with the ability for customers to edit this sidebar as you choose. So you don't have to build from the beginning your own sidebar. Workday will give you some usable and already visible for you sidebar, which you can only update it if you think something should be updated. Because of this new sidebar for candidate homepage, Workday removed 2 sections, About Us and Welcome Message, from the candidate home, because they will be right now added to this new sidebar. And from your tenants, it will be something what will be automatically moved to this sidebar, which Workday will deliver with this release. And finally, some clarification from Workday about fields renaming on our create or edit external career site tasks. This feature will be automatically available, but if you can update new text fields, which I showed you on the previous slide, then you can go easily to the external career site or edit career site, or as well edit sidebar to reflect your company needs. Okay, I know I reviewed a lot and very quickly, but we have a lot of different things to be covered today. So let's jump to our tenant and I will show you exactly how it looks like right now. Okay, and we are back on our candidate homepage right now for our external career site. And as you can see, we have here the button to use the candidate home are already logged in as one of our candidates. And this is how this page looks right now. So as you can see, we have the My Task section when the candidates can see all the tasks which has been assigned by recruiters, hiring team specifically to this custom candidates. And so, as you can see, is the name of the task and what exactly we request to be done by our candidates, what job title and job requisition is connected with this task, what is the status of the task, and then when this task was assigned to our candidates, and as well the new manage option. Right now it's action, and as you can see, we have really easily and really big for our candidates buttons which can be easily turned by them. And as well in the My Task section, we have the section for completed tasks. So the task which our candidates already done for us. And as you can see, I already for this candidate completed one task. it was the add references information. And as well, we have the information what job title, job requisition, and when this has been assigned to our candidates. And one thing to be noticed here is like that the completed task will be visible for our candidates for 90 days. It's the time which Workday gives our candidates to take a look which actions they already completed. Next part of this new homepage is my application section. And here we can see as well two tabs, like active tabs and inactive tabs. And as I mentioned, the active tab will cover our active job applications from our candidates. And you will able to see here as well the information, what is the current status for this application and when the application has been submitted by our candidate. And as well in this active section, you will be able to see the draft for the job applications, so the applications which hasn't been completed yet by our candidate. And as well option to see for candidates the inactive job applications. Below that, we have the suggested jobs section. And right now, as you can see, my tenant is not suggesting from this candidate any information. And the last thing is that my account option. So you can as well as the candidate update candidate contact information and edit account settings. And finally, the last thing on this page is our welcome sidebar. And as you can see here is exactly moved what was previously on the top of the page. So to this sidebar, Workday moved for us the welcome message for our candidates and as well section about your company information. As we can complete this task, we can very easily click this start option and it will take us to the completely new page when we can finish this task. Here is the button which we can add all the information about our references. And then once we submit this task, of course, all the red stars fields are required from this page. And then, of course, very shortly, our candidate homepage will be as well have this editable sidebar. And I will really quickly show you how it's look like right now, because it's something what Workday, as I mentioned, delivered for us. As you can see, in our tenant, it will be the candidate home. For external sites, for example, we can take this sidebar. And as you can see, Workday moved here the welcome message from our candidates and section about us. And one thing what is really important to mention here, will try to add to this sidebar the information prospect introduce yourself. It will be once I will try to submit this, Workday will give me the error because prospect introduce yourself or candidate introduce yourself option is not available for login candidates. So they are not able to do that because we already have the information about them in our system because they are our active candidates. And then we can go to some additional information. Of course, the demo cover majority of this additional consideration and how it's look like, but it's good to think about what will be applicable and helpful for your candidates who visiting the candidate homepage. So here I put some consideration question for you, which you can discuss with your recruiting team. And then, of course, the short summary. Then staying with our candidates experience, we will go to the improved candidates experience in the assigning education information for us during the job application. Workday delivers new search for school in a prompt instead of entering free text for our candidates. It, of course, improves the data quality by avoiding the spelling mistakes in the school's name and makes the reporting much more accurate for our recruiting team. Configuration for this feature is super easy because Workday delivers a new checkbox in Edit Tenant task for recruiting. And here is a small note from my side that it will take around 15 minutes for Workday to process this, and it will be after 15 minutes visible on your external career site. Okay, so let's back to our tenant and see one more time the candidate homepage. As you can see, using the magic of the demos, I already prepared some note completed job applications. So we can click here, easily continue our application. And as you can see, I already pre-populated all required fields, so I can save and continue. And in my experience, we have the education task. And once I will click it, as you can see, it's not right now the free text option, but it's the dropdown. By default, Workday will put here no items. So what our candidate needs to do, they need to put any 3 letters about any schools which we have in our tenant. As you can see, Workday give me all the schools with this shortcut in name. So our candidate can easily choose it and then assign the degree for this and submit those applications. One thing to be noticed that in this future, Workday will cover only the schools which are right now in your tenant. And we have this maintain school report. And as you can see, by default, in my tenant is over 19,000 different schools, which are filtered by country. So it is easy access for your administrators who are operating the recruiting area to check exactly that you have probably the most popular universities assigned already in your tenant. And as well, you have the option to add the new schools if you need this, or you can specifically find some of them. Some additional information here. Workday recommends to use this feature only if you want to candidates to select school maintained by your tenant. So this list, the huge list which I showed you, because once you enable this feature, as you saw, candidates won't be able to add their schools by free text if it's not possible for them with this feature turned on. So please keep in mind that of course, you can give your candidates option to create schools directly in the candidate homepage, but then please remember that this create school task is secure by setup skills and experience domain. And it will give our pre-employee much more visibility in the Workday once they will receive the access to Workday that you want to give them probably, because they will have them a lot of different items which they can see or create in the tenant. And it's not really safe to give them this option. The next part is something what is the Workday's reply to the post-pandemic jobs environment, which changed the hiring market needs. And a lot of candidates right now is searching for only remote job. So with Workday 2022R2 release, Workday support candidates to be able easily see them remote job opportunities in your companies. You can now create your own remote values, which can be used to create remote job requisitions. This feature requires additional configuration in your tenants, and I attach here all actions which needs to be done. And I will go directly to the tenant and show you this in action because it's like 2 pages of the different configuration. So let me jump to the tenant again. And then we need to first make sure that our administrators who needs to create these remote types will be able to do that. So we need to make sure that they have enough access to the security. And this item is secured by domain setup recruiting domains. And here, of course, we need to check that our permissions are assigned to our administrators. And here we can decide, of course, as with any domains, who should have access to only view those information and who can modify this operation as well. And of course, using the demo magic, I already created some information here for me to be able to show you the whole functionality for this. Then the next item, what we need to do, we need to create in our tenant some remote job requisition types, because right now by default you will not have any of them delivered by Workday. So Workday give you here the opportunity to create your own company specific remote types. It can be the different naming convention based on your company. So we received right now the new task named maintain job requisition remote types. And here you can add all the remote types for job requisition which you think will be useful for your external career site. I already create something here and assign it to the different options which we have here. So we can create the name of this, and as well we can put the external name, which will be more maybe understandable for our candidates and easily accessible for them. And of course, we can have right now option to create that this primary job posting location will be required or not. As you can see, I didn't mark it for home base and so the fully and hybrid working, but I assign it to the regional travel. And then we, of course, need to update our find jobs report. So I will go to the edit tenant and edit external career site, because it's a really easy access to our find jobs report. And what we can do, what we need to do, we first need to edit this report. And in the advanced tab first, we need to scroll down to the facet options and add here the option for our candidates to search these remote types. And as well, we can add for our candidates the really easy tick box that they want to search only the remote or not. And it will be only yes and no option for them. But to make sure that our candidates can see this, we need as well update the first column so in the first part of the report, so the search results. And as well, we need to add here the remote type. And as it's something optional, we can as well tick here the is remote option to have the option yes or no for our candidates. And then we can, of course, create our first remote job requisition. I will use the Logan McNeil default organization. And we need to put some basic information about this requisition. I will not go through the whole thing with you, but I want to show you that we right now have the new remote type field here. And once we open this dropdown, we have here exactly the same types which we added. So I want to create something what is home-based. As you can see, right now, primary job posting location is not required because in our maintain remote types for job requisition task, I not tick the button that it is required. But the primary location, as you can see, is still required. It's connected with that we still want to give our candidates the appropriate information to be delivered about personal information, some regulations and regional labor laws. So we still want to keep this in action. And right now we can back to our candidate external sites and see how it look like. And as you can see, we have here these filters. And once I will choose the location and scroll a little bit down, as the last option, I have the remote opportunities. And based on this, what I put to the job requisition, which I showed you how to create, I can say that, yeah, as the candidate, I want to see only the job requisitions which have the remote option. As you can see, you will be able as well see exactly the locations under which the candidates are available to work remotely based on our job requisitions, which we have right now posted in our tenant. The second option for our candidate is the remote type. And it in my tenant is hidden because it will give you option to only put here as the visible the 3 of the filters, and the rest will be in the more section. And as well, I can decide that I want to see only the remote options. As you can see right now, we have 2 remote job requisition posted. As you can see, for this fully remote, which is here for senior manager, I didn't put any job posting location, but I can do that as I did here. It will be available only for Helsinki. So it's the additional information for our candidates that we consider here, for example, the whole company when we have the locations. And here we will really want to hire somebody who will be the remote workers, but only in Helsinki area. All right. back to our demo. And
we have a question,
yes,
Anna, if I may. Someone asked, is there an option to post the job globally for all locations in the company?
it's still not possible because as I showed you, if you have this primary location, it's still required. So we still need to say under which location it will be. Of course, if you have any location which will be cover all the employees, yes, it will be possible by default, only if you are able to assign the primary location as global, if you have this location.
Okay, thank you. And just as a reminder, you have 15 minutes left.
Yeah, thank you so much. And important thing to keep in mind is that the primary location, as I mentioned, is still required on the job requisition. Then we have the collaborative hiring for candidate notes. And it is something what is the extension from the functionality about a job application and job requisition notes, which was presented to you with previous release. Right now, Workday give us the option to as well assign some information directly to our candidates, not only the job applications. Configurations is very quickly because we need to only make sure that our administrators and people who should see the notes has access to the domain manage candidate notes. And I will jump really quickly to the tenant. And I will log in as our recruiter, James Moore, to show you how it's look like. And I will search my candidate. Oh, it's jumping a little bit. Apologies. And we have our candidate here, and we can easily take a look. As well, you're already probably familiar with this new right side hub for the notes. And once we open it, we have right now the notes directly for the candidates and notes for our job applications. And it is something what is important to mention here that as you can see, this candidate already have a few applications, exactly 2 of them. And the notes about job application are added for this 00015. But we have as well one note added to the candidate. So right now I'm under job application 00015, but once I will change the job application, the candidate notes will be still visible for me, but once I will go to the job application, they don't be visible any longer for me because they are assigned to each job applications. So it secure a little bit this notes that something what is assigned directly to the candidates note won't be visible for people who shouldn't have access to that job application. So here you can put in the candidate notes like very generic information, but more specific about each job application still needs to go to the job applications.
We have one more question.
Yes,
someone has asked that all our jobs are auto-wrapped to LinkedIn. Do you know if the remote type selected in job requisition appears on LinkedIn?
I believe yes, but I will kindly answer to this via email because I need to check, but I assume that is exactly the same configuration which we have for regular job requisitions.
Perfect. Thank you.
And as well, summary for this. Then we have something what is connected with improving our questionnaires. And finally, Workday delivers for us some formatting for these questionnaires. And it will be very similar to this what we have for the regular business process notification. We will be able to add some line breaks, spacing, bullet list, bolds, italics, and more items for this. And it will be automatically available for you in the tenants. And the actions from your side are connected only with this that you need to go and update those things. And of course, the short demonstration, how it look like in our tenant. I will stop proxy. As the James, because he has no power here to do this. And we will go to our view questionnaire. And we can update one of ours recruiting. And I will use something what I prepare. And here we have one question. Once I will click edit the question, I will receive the normal view, but when I will go to the body of the question, as you can see, we have here the whole information which we normally have for the notifications, some text blocks for the documents. As you can see, I already updated something, but we as well can change something at the beginning because we want to make sure that we let know our candidates that they have the information which we required for them. And we can put it here. And as well, once I will click OK and done, then I have option from our questionnaire to preview this questionnaire. So I can see how my changes will be look like for our candidates. And they, of course, have some options here. So really quick update for this. And of course, additional information that you need to remember, of course, about that once questionnaires which are in use will be updated, they need to be copy and paste again to make sure that these changes are available. Then we have something what should help your recruiter administrate and administrators, I think, a lot. With this release, Workday enables you to enter the schedule weekly hours on a job requisition as defined by the position restriction. Configuration doesn't take a lot of time and is very simple. So I will jump to the tenant and show you because we are running off the time. Let me close these questionnaires and then we will go to the edit tenant setup for HCM. And in the staffing part, we have right now the new field, which is named Enable FTE on Position Restriction. It is the one part of this configuration to be able to use this new functionality. And the second part is under our job requisitions to specify what should be the default behavior for position management once we are creating the job requisition. And here you have two options. You can use the most recent field positions, and it will be automatically pre-populate them from most recent field position, or you can use the position restriction. And this position restriction is something what is right now added as the new. And then we will cancel it because I already created this as well, and then we can create the position. Yes, we can create this for Logan organization. And once we will scroll here a little bit down, we have the location. And once I will put the, for example, Helsinki location, we have as well the default weekly hours, which are coming from the location. And we have the field for schedule weekly hours. And right now they are the same and they are coming from the location. And FTE is 100. But once I will change the schedule weekly hours to be 30, the FTE will be automatically changed as well to reflect our change, which we put here. It will be working as well for the create job requisition. Yeah, we can create the new position. Or maybe not. It will be better for the existing position to show you how exactly it looks like and is reflected. So of course, we need to pre-populate some information as the reason why we're creating this. We need to add the target date and then we can go next. And it as well reflect here the change which I put under position because I already changed the schedule weekly hours, not should be the 37.5, but 30. And it will be reflected here. And as well, you have option to update it if you need once you create the job requisition. But I think it's good to keep the constancy between the position restriction and these items which are reflected on the job requisitions. And of course, some additional configurations. Then it's something what I think many of you have been looking forward to, and it is the salary and compensation grade range on the job posting. With Workday 2022R2, Workday delivers new reports fields on the job requisition business object to help you better reflect the local laws, which may require from your company to share with candidates salary ranges. To make it visible for your candidates, you need to do some additional configuration in your tenant. Important to know, if you update existing job posting template content, please make sure that you unpost and repost jobs to the career site to see the changes. Okay, so let's go again to our demo and see how it's look like from our tenant perspective. Oh, sorry, it's jumping a little bit. Apologies. Here we are. So I will go and take a look for my job profile. And I will take a look to our executive assistant. And go to the compensation. As you can see, the compensation grade and grant profile is assigned to this job profile. So we can go right now and create the job requisition. And as well use for this, we can create a new position and use our job profiles. And here we need to put our job profiles as the executive assistant to reflect those changes. And they will be available for us. But using the magic of the demo, I will show you how it will be exactly look like for you. Here we have our assistant, and we want to post it externally. And once we will do the preview job posting, you will see here the new field. Will be show you exactly from the job profile the salary ranges. The only thing what we need to do after that, we need to update the job posting template configuration to reflect those changes. And we will go here and update our external default template for job posting. As you can see, I already added here the single space to reflect the space between job description, and then we have this new text field, annual salary ranges, which is some information basic for our candidates, what exactly those numbers below are saying and in which item they are connected. And as well, I put here the new external field, so our reporting field, which will show you the minimum and maximum of the compensation pay range for this specific job profile, which is assigned to the job requisition. All right, and here, of course, additional configuration and summary. And finally, I think something what will be helpful for your admins a lot. With Workday 2022R2, Workday delivers an option to manually purge one entity, one candidate record or one job application directly from the related actions of this element, so the job application or the candidate record. Any additional configuration is required, it will be automatically available for you. Workday recommend only to check the per single entity domain security policy to make sure that the access is correct, because it will be automatically enabled in your tenant and the permission will be inherited from the parent domain named purge person data. Okay, and back a little bit to the demo and see it in the tenant. So I will go directly to my candidate. And as you can see, we here have our candidates. And once I will go to the related action and scroll to the below page, I will see the privacy purge. And I have option to purge the candidate from here, or I can use it only for the related actions or the active job application as well. The last item will be purge job application. And once I will click on that, Workday will inform me exactly what elements of the job application would be removed. I as well has option to select something specific for my candidate, and I can easily remove that. And on the next screen, I only need to confirm this functionality that I really want to purge. And of course, as always with the purge, please remember that the purge is something what cannot be reversed. So once you remove the candidate data or job application data, it will be not possible to rest in this operation. And other features, very quickly, Workday delivers with WD2022R2 extended skills options. When you enable the Skills Cloud in your tenant, both maintained skills and Skills Cloud skills will be available as a skills pool for candidates. Whoa, a lot of skills in one sentence, apologies, but it's not a way to say it in another way. Then we have something what is connected with our apologies. Yes, the configuration is not needed here. It will be automatically available for customers once you have in your tenant enabled Skills Cloud. And then we have, of course, some reminder about recommended interview scheduling. As you remember from previous release, Workday announced that it will be moved to the innovation services and will require some additional SQ with your customer service managers. So if you didn't do this and you want to use this in recommended interview scheduling, you need to contact your success managers. And how to do that? Configuration very easy. As I mentioned, you need to opt into the innovation services, and then you need to make sure that the security groups who should have access to this scheduled interview have access to the job requisition for recruiting security domain. Some additional information how to do that. I put here some tips and hints for you what is the best option how to configure that. And finally, two really big announcements from Workday for recruiting, and those items and demos can be a totally separate session because they are so big. So I will just briefly cover the main points. I highly encourage you to check the articles, which I shared here on the slide deck, to check the details. They have as well a really good video with demonstration how it will be look like. First item is the Candidate Engagement Hub. It's a new add-on offering to the recruiting, and it is the separate SKU and the separate cost. So please contact your customer success manager for more details. And this is planned to be delivered for all customers who signed this new agreement with Workday in September 2022. But of course, please keep in mind that the Workday Safe Harbor statement, as always, reply. In this feature, we have three different new functions: automated recruiting campaigns, new beautifully prepared tailored landing page, which you can create it from the scratch and it can reflect all your company needs. And with those two are connected the insightful analytics, which keep you updated how many changes, how many candidates, how many job applications you received through these two items. And as I mentioned, first of them is the recruiting campaigns. Workday gives you right now the option to automatically reach to the qualified prospects in your tenant once you need to fill a lot of position for some specific programs, for example, summer internships. You can specify which candidates pools should be notified about the new campaign, and the information from this automatic campaign will be sent only via email to those candidates. And with them are connected landing pages for prospective candidates to visit, learn more about your company or about ongoing campaigns, which they can be invited or which they will be interested for them. Landing pages will be available from new Candidate Engagement Hub. You can assign them to the career site as well. And as well, Workday gives you an option to preview the landing page, which you create from desktop or mobile perspective before you publish them for all candidates. Similarly to the recruiting campaigns, you can see the landing page analytics to check how many people visited those landing pages, apply from this landing page to the position which has been assigned to this, etc. And finally, Workday messaging. It is something what is right now available only for US mobile phones and only for customers in Workday US database. Generally, with this release, Workday gives you the option to enable recruiters to contact candidates via SMS message. You can prepare them in the same way as we have right now the email templates in our tenants, and it will be sent from Workday directly to the phone number which candidates provides to us. And of course, some brief and shortly about roadmaps. What is planned for the next releases? As for now, we know about create job requisition for multiple existing positions in your tenant. And right now, currently to cap now 100 positions. And it is planned to be delivered with the next 2023 R1 release. The next item in our roadmap are add documents for offer. Currently, it's in early adopter. And generally, it will be availability for you to assign to the offer some specific, for example, company agreements, company information, whatever candidates need to sign before they will go to the higher stage. And to here, we don't have the specific date when it will be available. It will be announced in the future. And the last thing is the LinkedIn Recruiter System Connect with one-click export, and it is planned to be delivered with Workday 2022R2 Plus. And of course, as I mentioned, safe harbor statement applies. I know we cover a lot of different items, and I speed up it a little bit, but please, if you need any information, additional information for this presentation, or you have some additional questions, please contact me via email and I will try to answer to all your questions.